Hi, Jim Campilongo here. Yeah, I'm in a new room. Hope you like it. And today we're going to do walk-in bass over jazz blues in A. Usually I like to start these and I play because, you know, I watch the YouTube videos and the guys talk for 10 minutes and then, you know, it's like, you know, do you know D? And maybe you won't like this lesson. I know, it sounds really basic. There we go. I like to let you know what you're doing, and maybe I'm not going to this time, but I will get there. What I want to look at is the chord chart for walk-in jazz blues. It says page 3, and before we get into the walk-in bass thing, which is the lesson, and then walk-in bass jazz blues in A chord diagram. So what's a jazz blues? Well, let's go through that, even though maybe you know already. Maybe you know one better than this. This is one of hundreds. Starts with A7, and that's what's weird about jazz blues is the one chord is a 7th chord, and not always, but in this one it is. So the one chord is technically a dominant chord, which technically goes elsewhere, and it does, but it's the 1, A7, then it goes to 4, D7, then it goes to 1, A7. Everybody knows that. Then it has a jazzy bar, E minor 7, A7, that's a 2. 2 is the 2 of the 4 chord, D, the upcoming chord, okay? Whenever you analyze music, you can say, what's it doing, okay? And that's what it's doing. It's a 2-5 going to the 4 chord. 2, 5 to the 4 chord, which is the 7th. Okay, well, I didn't play it. There we go. Okay, then it's a diminished chord, D sharp diminished 7th. I have it written down, even though we all should know our diminished chords. Then it just says A, okay? And usually that's a chord that isn't as dominant, like it doesn't have a flat 7, a G in it, and the chord we're going to play doesn't. Then it just goes up the horn, B minor 7, C sharp minor 7, like this. I'll show it slow, but it's just the white keys. Then F7, F sharp 7, which is the 5 of B minor 7, and a 2-5 here, and then a 3, 6, 2, 5. Okay, so that's A7, 1, D7 is our 4, A7 back to 1, a 2, 5 going to our dominant 7th 4 chord, a diminished chord, then A6, I'll show. Then B minor 7, C sharp minor 7, F7, F sharp 7, sorry, B minor 7, E7. So that's our 2-5 of A, but we don't go there. We do 3, 6, 2, 5. 3, 1, 2, 3. You can just look at your E string and go up in whole steps. So the 3 of G is this, B minor 7, unless it's a dominant chord. Okay, so I've gussied these up a little bit, and that's the jazz blues we're going to do the walk-in bass on. We could do A13 there in the chord reference, D9. We're going back to A13. Then we need E minor 7, A13, D9, D sharp diminished 7th. And here we're going to do A6, the original 1 chord, A6, B minor 7, C sharp minor 7, and I have Creedence Clearwater F sharp 7 there, B minor 7, E7, then we do. Okay, now I think I have this in here. It's a. We could play it like this. everything I did, I showed you except for one thing. Now, I'm going to show it to you kind of slow. You know James Brown, D9. Okay, there's the 9. So if you play D7 sharp 9, you raise that, and you get the Hendrix chord. But here's our root, and that's D9, D7 sharp 9, D9, D7 sharp 9. So how do you think you play D7 flat 9? It's that note, and you go like that. So D9, D7 sharp 9, Jimi Hendrix chord, D9, James Brown chord, D7 flat 9. It isn't attributed to anybody, but we, you know, think of that note. So you don't think, oh, I can't remember the grip, you know. It's like, you know, D9, right? The James Brown chord, D7 sharp 9, D9, D7 flat 9. So if I go up and walk this, I don't do it all the time, but it's... I'll do that move, F sharp 7, sharp 9, F sharp 7, flat 9 to B minor. Because it does a melodic line that's really nice. And you could do it here. You know, if we were going to A. It's a good move. So we'd go. Then, there we go again. Do it again. Okay, so those are the chords. Now, I'm going to do the walk-in bass now. But the walk-in bass, I want you to know, at least try to know what you're playing over. When I was a very young guy, you know, I went to this one lesson and the guy showed me this walk-in bass thing. I was like, yeah, I want to learn jazz, you know, because I like the Mahavishnu Orchestra or something. And the guy showed me this like really elaborate walk-in bass thing, and I learned it, but I didn't know what it was, you know, I mean, and I want you to know what it is. And one of the things is about this is basically we're playing chords from either a half step above or approaching a half step below. And a great bass player, Tim Lunsell, told me that. And I think of him all the time when I'm not doing that. And I think of him all the time. Real character, I miss him. But anyway, that's basically what's going on. So for example, let's start doing the walk-in bass. This is the lesson. We do. So that's A7, the first chord there, and under it you see 1, 2, and I use middle and ring for, okay? Now we're just walking up to D7, and it's very finger specific, so gimlature here is advantageous, I think, because I'm approaching this with 2 because it's the bottom note of my D7. You'll start to get this stuff intuitively if you don't already, but now to go back down, we go C, B, and that's fourth diagram. Then approaching this chord by half step, A7. So it's now if I was just going to loop 1 to 4, which is a lot of fun. We could go. Again. Okay? So far we have. Now we're going to go to that 2-5 going to the 4 chord, bar 4, E minor 7, A7, and we do. And I don't love that actually, you know, I might just walk up chromatically, but the way it's written is A7, then we're on first diagram row 2 and we go. Which this sounds all atonal. You're like, did I write that correctly? But I did. 1, 3, 3, boom. That's it. Then we have, again, approaching the chord by half step. So far we have okay, now we go to bar 5, I guess it is, and play the D chord. We approach it by below a half step. That's last diagram row 2. And then we do this, and it's a little confusing the way I wrote it. I wish I didn't write it that way. You play 3, 1, 3. It's there, but you know, just don't go. You know, it's 3, 1, 3. Okay, so we do D diminished 7th, and we could have done that again, but instead we're going to do this, A flat, and we don't end there, thankfully. Then A6, last diagram, row 3. So we have okay. Now the next part's one of the easier parts, and it sounds good. We have okay. We're there, A6, last diagram, row 3. Then just bring 2 up a half step below this B minor 7th chord. Then bring 2 up another half step, C, which is below C sharp minor 7. Okay, now we're going to be on 5th diagram, row 4, and we're going to go big fancy chord there. F7 sharp 9. Jimi Hendrix chord, but we should know about the 9. You know, there's F sharp 9, F7 sharp 9. Okay, so we did. I'm using a lot of right hand stuff. You don't have to. On that chord, for example, and a lot of chords before it, sorry I mentioned it now, I'm using pick, middle, and little finger. Middle ring and little finger. Sorry. So, like there. Pick, middle ring, little finger. Middle ring, little finger. Middle ring, little finger. Now, if your little finger feels like a little piece of chicken fat that you got to cut off before you roast your chicken. Yeah, mine did too at one time, but it'll show up, you know, like give it some time. I mean, you know, I can't do like Segovia flourishes or anything, and I was better, I hate to admit, with my little finger, but this kind of thing is quite easy. And I could get that kind of bark that sounds a little like a B3. I mean, Joey DeFrancisco wouldn't be jealous, but it has a nice sound. And I think that's because I'm using, okay, F sharp 7 sharp 9. Now we're going to approach B minor 7 from below half step, which is kind of more hassle than it's worth, but you know, we got to adhere sometimes. Right, okay, so this is the hardest part. First diagram, second diagram of row 5. Then we walk up 1, 2, 3, bottom note is 3 for Creedence Clearwater E7. Okay? Then 1, 1, 2, then C sharp minor 7. So that was. Okay, and that's the 3, 6, 2, 5 at the end. I kind of don't like this, but you know, it's a little clumsy feeling. I'd probably do that, but I don't want to do, you know, let's concentrate at the task at hand. And we're at a familiar place, C sharp minor 7. Then this is from above. This is from below. This is from above. So it's to the top. And that's, you know, oh, I have an E7 sharp. Yeah, I did E7 sharp 9. And then we do it again. After the E7 sharp 9, we're on page 2. Then we do, now use fingers 3 and 4, I think that's best. Just snag those, just like that. I use pick and middle. And then here, it's just like you're laying your finger across the fingerboard. And again, this takes hybrid picking. And we pick string 6, 4, 3, and 2. So we can, you know, you can play A13 or at the end of that too. Always transpose something if you like it. Here it is in G. Here it is in C. Here it is in D. C, G. I transpose anything I like and I try and play it in different octaves. So that's the walking jazz blues in A. Again, there's like a bunch of jazz blues. This is one of them. Try to understand it. Now, the thing is even though there's a lot of harmony there, if you know what, if you're struggling to play, I hate to use that word, but here it is, and my looper deal. Okay, so I did it two fives, and I'll show them to you. But everything else was blues scale, so don't get too caught up in the theory of playing, you know, mixolydian here and there. Okay, so one of the 2 5s I did was over B minor 7 to E7, which is a 2-5 of A. And I did, okay, so that's B minor, like Stairway to Heaven. Okay, so you can maybe see that, then, which is harder to see, because that's the major third of E. Okay, so you can play that at the end of the blues when it's over B minor 7, E7. Now, if you want to be ambitious, you could play 3, 6, 2, 5 at the end there, and it would be the same lick, but up a whole step on C sharp minor. I'll do it here. Sorry, we got to get there. Here we go. Here we go. Now I did one other one here. Okay, so that's a 2-5 on bar 4, E minor 7, A7. Okay, E minor 7th, A7 going to D. But I don't think going up there makes a lot of sense. So I'm going to show you this one here. Same notes. Sorry about my singing. It's a little high. But it's E minor. It's right in there. Then to A. That's the major third of A, which might be easier to see than this one. So you know 2 2-5s in 2 different places. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. So, one of the attributes, I'm trying to think of a better word, of learning the walking jazz blues bass is you'll start to internalize when those 2 5s are, because it's hard. You know, you're there playing, and you know, maybe you're getting into it, and then you're like, whoa, did the 2 5 happen? I think I missed it, you know, or did this happen already? I think I missed it. But it'll help you just know where it is. And you know, here's the 2 5. Here's the diminished chord. Here's the walk up, etc., etc. Here's that 3 6 2 5. Okay, and it'll help you kind of internalize where it is so you could lay for a change. But, you know, if you can, that's great. Anyway, that's the lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. I did. And thanks a lot for watching this thing, and I hope you got something out of it. Have a great day.